Hello happy gardeners, welcome back to Stinky Ditch Nursery. We've got Marla on camera. Say hello Marla.
Hi.
And neither of us, well I haven't been cutting my hair, but Marla's been cutting her own hair, haven't you?
Yeah.
And she makes a very good job. She's got long hair though, and dyeing it, and yeah, she looks fine. Me, I'm just going to let it grow. Those barbershop queues are going to be very, very long when all this opens up. Anyway, back to the post. I hope you're all doing well and living up under lockdown. If you've got the opportunity to get out into your garden, you'll notice that everything's starting to grow at the moment, and people are starting to spend a lot more time in their garden for, obvious reasons. Now, this here is a hibiscus. You may have one in your garden that you didn't even know that you had one. They flower in late summer. Beautiful little flowers, and they're sort of tree things. But I'm just using this as an example. If you've got any trees or little shrubs in your garden that were sticky or, just sticks all winter, and they've just started putting on some leaf like this, you can try taking some cuttings from them. It's something to do. It might work, it might not. And if it does, it will really give you an insight as to how propagation works and how you can make more plants out of a single plant. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take some cuttings from this and we're going to put them in a cutting mix that we are going to sieve. Marla, show the people the sieve. Quite a fine sieve like that. If you haven't got a sieve, I tried using a colander, trying to improvise with home stuff. Doesn't work. Load of rubbish. Just pick out the big bits. So what we're going to do to make our cutting mix, we're going to use 50% gritty sand. Show that to the people. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not like the smooth sandpit sand. It's a bit gritty. Is that my phone pinging?
No, it's mine.
Oh, your phone's pinging. And we're going to pop that in the sieve. And here, Marla's spinning, I've got some grow bags that I've used from last year. They were like sort of, if you get the multi-purpose stuff and you filled up your bedding plants or your hanging baskets, use it again the next year. It's got no nutrition in it, but this is what we want with cuttings. We don't want nutrition, so we pop that in there as well. We get the pots and we throw those over there and we give it a sieve. So I'm going to sieve out any big lumps. There we go. That can go down there, and then give it a bit of a mix. Marla's spinning, showing people how to mix it. We just mix it up until it's all the same sort of brownish colour. Now this has got a bit of moisture in it, but I'm going to water it afterwards anyway, and it's a lot easier than working with something that's completely and utterly dry or completely and utterly soggy. You've got to find the happy sort of thing. Oh, I just chucked the pot away. Wait a minute, where's another pot? There's a pot. Right, so what we do is we get our cutting mix and we pop it in the pot like this. It is this easy. It really is, like that. So there's our potting mix, and I'm going to give it a tap it down a bit like that. Yep, I'm happy with that. And now we're going to cake our cutting, for which we need the glasses. Marla, if you'd like to spin in here. Now, if you've just got one coming up as a stick, where you want to be taking your cutting, we want this to carry on growing from above. So can you see where that bit's growing out there? It's called a node. Yep, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it just above that, like that. Use sharper snips, if you have them. And now with this here, Marla, if you'd like to spin in again, this point here, this node where the leaf is coming out, this is where growth is going to appear. Excuse the grubby fingernails, but I've been gardening all day. It's a good thing about being a gardener, actually. With this COVID-19, having to wash your hands and everything and going into houses, as gardeners, we walk around houses like surgeons anyway, because you can't touch anything because you've got the grubby hands, opening door handles and everything all like this. So I'm sort of prepared for most of this. Anyway, Marla, spin back in again. I digress. Right, so we got that there, which is our node. So we're going to cut it off, and as I said, with a sharper pair of snips than mine, and then I'm going to pull that off like that. You could cut it, or you could pull it, and I'm going to pull a couple of the ones further down off as well. I might even cut that off there, and cut that off there, like that, okay? And there we have a cutting. That is it. It's just a little stick with a few leaves on the end. Now, what we've done is, through taking a cutting, we have taken away the roots from this piece of the plant. It's unable to drink anymore. So what it's wanting to do is it's wanting to grow roots as quickly as possible before it dehydrates completely and dies and the cells within it can no longer survive. So always bear that in mind. So the leaf is a place where water can evaporate from the plant itself. So we want to keep those to a minimum. This is quite a small amount of leaf, so I'm happy with this. If these leaves were bigger, I might cut some of them in half, or I might pull some of them off. And then we just stick it in the edge of the pot like that. Now we stick it in the edge of the pot because this is the last part of the pot to dry out, and it gives them a better chance of going. So I'll just take a few more of those, Marla, if you'd like to spin in. So again, look here on this plant here, I've got a little node growing there. I've got a little leaf growing there, so I'm going to cut that above there. There's the next one, there. and stick it in. That's how quick it is. That is how easy it is, folks. It really is. Oh, wait a minute. I've got another one here. I'm going to take him about there. Clunk. Take that bottom bit off. Cut him back to there. Take a few of these leaves out. And, oh, I ripped the side of that. It might get infected, it might not. Doesn't matter, just take loads. Just take loads of them. And one last one off of this big one here, Marla. So if I take him off there, is that you pinging all the time?
Sorry.
That's all right, doesn't matter. That's, I'm sure it's nice to be popular. I wouldn't know. Right. Right, then we take that off a bit raggedy again, around the edge. See, I've made 2 out of this little stick that I just cut off there. Like that. Let me stick that in. And there we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a bit of water on that. So we'll stick it on the ground and get the water. There we are. You getting this, Marla?
Yep.
There we are. Give it a good soaking. Now, because we've got all the sand in there, that will drain through nicely. Now, leave that on the side. Actually, I've got some I did a few weeks ago. Marla, just stay there a minute. Oh, knocking everything over. Just stay there a sec. I'll just go and grab them. There we go. Sorry about that. So here's some I did a few weeks ago. Marla, if you'd like to spin in and show the people, look, we've got a few weeds growing in there, but that doesn't really matter. We'll pull the weeds out. And as you can see, they're still alive. They're still okay. And they will be putting on roots. Now, you want to leave them in there for a good few months, you know? We're going to check back on those. And the way you can tell if they've started rooting is to have a look at the bottom and you'll see some roots coming out of the bottom, like that. All right. And that's it. This has been Robbie Phoenix with Marla on camera down at Stinky Ditch Nursery, getting back into the swing of things. Been very busy online plant sales, I've got to admit. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, keep safe, and keep growing stuff.